Hello, lovely ones, and welcome to this episode of the Be Free podcast. So, this episode today is something that is so close to my heart, and it's kind of funny how this particular episode came about. So, I've had a number of podcast guests lined up, and for so many different reasons, like really bizarre reasons, um, podcasts have been cancelled and rearranged. So today, well, yesterday I put a thing out on Instagram saying, anybody in my stories wants to come on the pod, record with me tomorrow, let me know. So a couple of people have reached out. Unfortunately, they couldn't come, but fortunately for me, it makes sense because this is how this episode has come into play. So I was out riding my horse today and I'm going through the forest. I'm thinking, oh, what am I going to podcast about today? What I think, like, what would really, really support people? So I'm like asking my guides, I'm riding through the woods. And then what's coming through is nature. Hello, speak about nature and how we can really use nature as a support tool and how it can help us solve all our problems, receive divine guidance, and so many other things. So, today, we are going to be touching on the spiritual tool that is connecting with nature. And I've got some ideas of things you can do, things that I'm currently doing with clients, using nature as a support tool, and just a little bit of some of the benefits as well. Because I think if you're in the Northern Hemisphere and it's getting a bit chillier, sometimes we need a little bit extra motivation to get outside. So hopefully this episode will leave you inspired and ready to go pop that woolly hat on, cozy jacket, and get outside. But regardless of where you are in the world, this episode will really, really support you. I'm recording this episode on bonfire night, so I think there's some fireworks going off in the background. So I'm unsure if you can hear those, but just in case you're wondering if you do pick that noise up. So I read this really beautiful quote about nature before I was recording, and it says, in every walk in nature, one receives far more than he seeks. And this is so divinely true. So I kind of called this episode Using Nature to Solve My Problems. However, we're not really using nature. I don't like that kind of terminology. It's more that we are co-creating. We are using nature or how nature is supporting us, and we can give back to nature in other ways as well. So as I was writing, as I said, I was thinking, what will a podcast about? So I was seeking inspiration. And this is something that nature never, ever fails, is to inspire me. And I don't know about you, but there really is something magical about being in nature. I went horse riding in the forest this morning, and then straight after, I decided I would take the dog to the beach so I could get the diversity of the forest and then also the ocean waves, just to really inspire me for recording and creating this episode for you. So let's kind of dive in. So I last year I studied, or was it this year? Maybe started last year, qualified this year as a forest therapy practitioner, and you'll find some episodes in the podcast around that. But there are so many physical, mental, emotional, spiritual benefits of connecting with nature. And the word connecting is one of them for starters. There truly is something within nature that allows us to connect back with ourselves. I was speaking to a client on Saturday, and she was saying this exact thing, that her head had been frazzled, she'd been all over the place, she'd taken herself to her sit spot, which is something that I utilize in forest therapy and also my metamorphosis program. And she'd taken herself to her sit spot, and it really, really just supported her in processing grief, processing confusion, and allowed her just to connect back into her heart space and really, really find peace. And, this does not take long to occur. So I led a session this weekend in the forest. Um, And we did about 15 minutes of mindfulness, and then I gave the participants just a few different invitations and ways to connect whilst they were in the forest. And there were tears, there were personal reflections. Just seen a little light in my room there. Woo! Hello. I'm away to just diversifying. I'm away to do my metamorphosis group program live call after this, and we're actually going to be working and connecting with our ancestors. So I wonder if that's somebody coming in. Um, so beautiful. So yeah, bit distracted there. Um, so we can really connect with nature in that way. It really allows us to become more mindful and present in our lives. Now, the invitations that I give in forest therapy and the invitations I give to my group coaching clients, I've shared some of this on Instagram this week as well, actually. Just thinking about what have you to teach me? Right. So say you're going for a walk in nature, you can ask that question, what have you to teach me? And just allow, see what arises. Look for signs, look for symbols, look for synchronicities. Um, you can ask for support on something specific. So you maybe want to take yourself on a walk and ask yourself a specific question, like, I don't know, maybe you're struggling with which job to take, or maybe you're struggling with, oh, I don't know where I should live, or maybe you're struggling with um health concerns. You know, you can set an intention for your time in nature. And again, it doesn't have to be a walk. Like a few years ago when I wasn't well, before I studied forest therapy, this was one of the reasons I did study it, was because I couldn't walk, but I could sit in nature. I could go into my garden and have that expansiveness, that sensation of expansiveness. So it allows us to move out of our current state into a more expanded consciousness and more expanded awareness. There's also the benefits of feeling grounded, so feeling really nice and connected to the earth. It calms our nervous system being in nature, incredible for anxiety, incredible for depression. Um, and incredible for anyone that's a creative. So if you are struggling with inspiration or looking for a bit of creative insight, then getting yourself into nature is such a great way to do that. Equally, you don't need to set an intention. You can just take yourself for a walk, and by simply gifting yourself that headspace, sometimes the ideas will come through. It's a bit like when you take yourself for a shower. Like I have so many good ideas from in the shower and in the bath. And it's because we don't have these distractions around us, right? We have this moment of more clarity. So my little nudge for you guys this week is if there is something that you're struggling with or feel like you could use a little bit of support with, really connect with Mother Nature. Head outside, gaze upwards, look at the trees swaying whilst the trunks are strong and steady. Look at the clouds, look at the stars, look at the grass, look at the tiny little things. Take yourself for a walk as if you are a toddler. Right, be in that space of awe as you look at acorns and the different colors of leaves and the patterns and the textures and all these incredible things that we can see around us, because that change in perception will really begin to change your outlook on life. It will boost your sense of gratitude, it will boost your sense of happiness, it will reduce loneliness, and it will help you feel more connected back to yourself. Because when we take ourselves away from our current situation, then we can begin to find solutions. Um, and that's that expansiveness that I was speaking about. From a physical point of view, I've just written down a couple of these things here. Forest therapy or nature therapy has been shown to reduce blood pressure, reduce anxiety, depression, fatigue, reduces inflammation, thus boosting immunity. It is preventative on lifestyle-based cancers, preventative for diabetes, lowers blood pressure. I think I said that lowers blood pressure. And there's so much more. That's just a few things, but ultimately, there's just no reason not to, other than sometimes we can't be bothered. We get really stuck, and it can take us a little bit of a nudge to get out there. Now, nature therapy is something that is so important to me. And to kind of demonstrate that, my last event had nature therapy. My metamorphosis group program consists of nature therapy as well. In the vibe part, my group coaching clients were asked to go to their sit spot every week. And in the connect part of the course, they're now looking to connect with that signs and synchronicities, to utilize the support of Mother Nature, to take themselves to sacred sites and spaces, and really allow themselves to expand and just feel so. I don't even want to say connected. I kind of feel like I've said it so many times in this podcast, but that's exactly what I mean. Just honestly coming back to your heart, out of your head, back into your body, and to find hope. Okay, nature gives us this opportunity to find hope, to find inspiration, to find solutions, and yeah, a different way of being. So let me know, where are you going to take yourself? Let me know what nature gifted you with, as that quote said, in every walk in nature, one receives far more than he seeks. So it's a short episode this week. Um, but I am encouraging you just to take that time out, get your feet on the earth, allow your senses to tune in, to be really mindful, to be really present. And if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, I know there's many people that I've spoken to. It's only Tuesday. There's many people I've already spoken to this week who are so overwhelmed. And that's one thing that stepping into nature will really support you with, is just releasing that overwhelm and giving you that space. So let me know how it goes. Do tag me. I would love if you can subscribe to my podcast. And I do have some incredible guests lined up, honestly, who I've been speaking to today. Um, and yeah, I can't wait for you to connect with them. But until then, give us a subscribe, rate the podcast. I would love if you can share it to your stories. And in fact, if you leave a review and you share to your stories, I will do a single card reading for you. So just do that. Make sure you tag me at Susie McWilliams, Spirit and Soul, and I'll pull a card for you. How does that sound? So I will pop the link to my email list in the show notes as well. Do sign up to that and you'll hear everything we've got coming up. And until then, let's allow Mama Earth and nature to support you in solving all your problems. Okay, so much love. Thank you for being here, and I will speak to you soon. Bye, my loves.